Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. I've decided I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go buck wild. It's happening. Alright, so we'll get everybody together. Britain, give me a conquer war goal on... Oh, I can only get... No, interesting. I can only get conquer war goals on things I wouldn't necessarily desire to have. Karafuto. I don't know where that is. Okay. That's a little curious. I can get Hijazi Yemen. I do want Hijazi Yemen. I can't get any of my... Oh, wait. No, hold on. For a return war goal. I can't get a return Mosul. Well, that's a shame. If I get a transfer subject, what subject do I go for? I think the answer is Fengtian Click. But let's take a quick look at the subjects. 20 million in GDP versus 17 million for Korea. Yeah, I think we go for Fengtian Click. Alright. War goals. Transfer subject. I can't get Fengtian Click either. Korea... Can't get Korea... Gosh dang it. They're not willing to give me any of the stuff I want. I could steal the Hejaz. I mean, I would like the Hejaz. If I go for a conquer... Well, getting the Hejaz gets me Yemen anyway. So I think that's right. Very small GDP, but, you know, it could be worse. Alright. Yeah, and I'll devour them. I will devour them. It's... Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. Give me what I want, Britain. If it's conquer, what can I actually get? I can get Transjordan. That's useless to me. Sinai. Be nice. I could build the canal. But I don't think I'd have time before the campaign ends. Ha'il. I can get the rest of Ha'il. Which I'm holding a little bit of already, so that's not that bad. Get a bunch of, Ooh, if I could get a transfer of Tigray, that would be nice. Transfer subject... They won't give it to me. Gosh darn it. And again, like, Serbia's isolated, so getting them is not useful to me. Alright. We'll snag the Hejaz. Alright, and that puts me in the war. Let's put the 1st army here. We'll put the 4th army over here. East, and we'll leave the 3rd army where they are for now. Well, actually, I got 2 armies available. We'll put the 5th army on the main front as well. And do I set... What is the capital of the Hejaz? It's Hejaz. Well, that... I guess that does make a certain degree of sense. Alright, so we will set... Can't set that as our objective for now. So we'll leave that be, I guess. Now we should be seeing significant support from our allies. I've got a bureaucratic shortage. Is there anywhere that I need to build extra governance capacity? Yes. Merv. Yemen. I'm really only going to build 2. I'm not going to activate my... I am going to unpause construction, which is going to cost me a lot of money, but I'm not going to activate my conscripts yet. Alright, so they're putting forces here. But our allies should be putting significant forces here at this stage. Because this is the main front at this point. I am... These guys are on defense. That's why we're not progressing here. Alright. I am going to put my commanders on advance. Because I think we're going to be able to get forward with our significant technological advantages. And I think maybe the Third Army will go to the front as well. Yeah, I think I can have them at the front. No, actually, we'll leave them here in Iran to fend off a naval invasion from Japan. That seems likely. All right, and we'll see what happens with the Turkmen national movement. Bemba uprising. Interesting. Well, now the ratio is changing over here in Gojam, which I don't love. The ratio is still pretty good over here. Again, I can't set strategic objectives right now immediately. It's interesting that I guess the armies are going here to Yemen because that's where my primary war goal is. So we'll see how this goes. We are pressing forward in Sichuan. This was dumb of me. I should have realized that I wasn't attacking them. Now, their capital is here. So we're going to set that to our strategic objective for the time being. I'm going to finish out my construction queue. That's what I'm going to do. I need the engines. I need the engines anyway. They're getting stuck in another war with two arms, a revolt in Montenegro. So now we're going forward. So hopefully we should be going forward and getting successfully. And my bureaucracy sorted itself out. Well, see, I feel quite silly. All right, your strategic objective will be... this is Xinjiang. Oh, interesting. Xinjiang is not the capital. Southern Jilin's the capital for the Fengtian clique. So put that there. Condemn slavery. Our rival Ottoman Empire continues to practice slavery. We could easily condemn them on the world stage for this. The fact that this sick, disgusting, and depraved practice is allowed to continue anywhere in the world is a slight against humanity itself. We must condemn the practice strongly and publicly, as soon as possible. We must condemn it. Costs us some influence, but reduces their prestige. Or do we want to upset them? Salty intelligentsia. I'm going to do the first one. Communist revolt in China. I don't know where that is, but I'm obviously not going to get involved. Oh boy, lots going on. This situation, the revolt in Montenegro, I can't get involved. This situation here, Bemba uprising in British East Africa, I can't deal with that. This is another British internal situation. This is war between Cambodia and Siam. Cool. Siam is independent, interestingly. Oh, they've gotten quite small, though. Nevertheless, I can't get involved. And then this is Harar versus Arsalan, which is where? This tiny country. Alright, so that's fine. How are the battles going? Alright, we are winning battles over here, which is good. An exile at the gates. The relatively lenient Iranian immigration system has long been attractive to those fleeing their home nations. Recently, Nasser ad-Din Makhzoom has petitioned to join the stream of people moving to Iran. It was one name on a very, very long list, one that had passed through multiple layers of bureaucracy before being noticed. One fateful day, however, one clerk at the end of his shift pointed at the name and spoke those fatal words. I think that's where I've heard of him before. Eventually, Nasser ad-Din Makhzoom, too, will be Iranian, or we will not have someone like this regardless of precedent, salty industrialists. You are a land reformer associated with the rural folk? Sure, you can join the country. I'm fine with that. Alright, so it looks like our force comparison is actually improving over time. We are winning battles over here on the front in Africa. Well, not this one. Excuse me? The Beijing front. Oh, interesting. The Beiyang government is involved? Oh, because they're a British puppet. Well, you know, they're just going to have to do their own thing. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got events, we got events, we got events. Am I in an election? No. Okay. Lobbyist lectures in Iran. A man employed by a powerful member of the Anti-Ottoman Association is delivering lectures and pamphlets addressed to targeted constituencies in Tehran. One lawmaker writes to a fellow politician, "Every day he finds me. I know not how. I'm quite disturbed. What are his aims? That hired emissary of the Anti-Ottoman Association haunts the doors of the Iranian Assembly, much like the ghost of the murdered Banquo. Make it clear lobbies are responsible for the emissaries they hire. Weaker petite bourgeoisie thanks to our legitimacy. Our legitimacy is very good right now. Or any concerns about the emissaries' behavior are unfounded. Stronger petite bourgeoisie. Petite bourgeoisie are not in the government right now. Are we on high taxation? We are on high taxation. I'm going to actually go for the extra legitimacy. Propaganda by the deed. Viewing open political organization as unfeasible, the anarchist movement has embraced the doctrine of propaganda by the deed. Through public assassinations of politicians and businessmen, the movement hopes to inspire the masses to further revolutionary activity. The building's facade, scorched pitch black, yawned before the detective like the maw of a great beached sea monster. Display cases and clothes racks, shattered and cast to the ground, formed its snaggled teeth. A wind-tossed sheet of paper, corners charred, flattened against the side of his boot. "War," it proclaimed in a neat copperplate font. He picked it up and turned his back to the wind to stop its fluttering. "Class war," it continued, "sparked by you." He pocketed it. Now he thought, where was the nearest printers? Okay, so violent times await us. For as long as the activism of the anarchist movement is above 50%, the movement may carry out terrorist attacks against our executives, politicians, and ruler, or all the reasons to be more vigilant. This is available because we've got home affairs, law enforcement, and no guaranteed liberties. For as long as the activism of the... Okay, same effect, but for 10 years, extra radicals from political movements, but reduced suppression cost. Interesting. I don't want more radicals. I'm going to go with the second one, though, because I can cut a small consumption tax. Like, for example, transportation is the most efficient one to cut. And then I can get suppression on the anarchists. And I can get suppression on the radicals. Or the socialists are stronger. We'll suppress them. Alright. There we go. Alright, let's get this war going. Alright, and we are winning on the northern front as well. Force comparison is improving. I'm not raising my conscripts because I don't feel that it's... I don't feel that I can afford it. Frankly, that's what happened. I don't feel I can afford it. We are moving quickly here in the Fengtian clique, so that front should have itself sorted out before too long. There's naval invasions happening in Japan, keeping Japan locked down. Naval invasion in India, but that's... Force comparison there is pretty good. Force comparison here on the main front's gotten a little worse, but we are still winning battles, so that's good. Almost finished with our motor industries, and this is going to finish out our commitment to our industrialists, which is going to make things a lot easier. Good, very good. Yeah, we're pushing forward on all fronts. So again, my long-term, my hope here is that we can have a truce with the Ottomans that lasts until the end of the game. That's my goal here. Mongolia is actually very close to... They're a puppet all over us. Have I changed... Oh boy, I got a lot of notifications. Have I changed their state religion? Yet. I have not. Do I have the ability to? I don't think so yet. Not for another year. Turkestan... I did change. Alright, beautiful. Alright, we're pressing into Korea now. Again, shame I couldn't get that, but... Uh-oh. Students rallied to the communist movement. A group of students attending the university in Fars have arranged a demonstration in support of the communist movement. The display has inspired other students to join the cause. The lecture hall was barren. There were always 1 or 2 students missing for illness, travel, or family occasions, but nothing of this scale. There were 3 or 4 students per row, each thrown into sharp contrast by the empty seats to their sides. It was material for a lecture of its own, he thought, like a heap of sand whose grains had blown away one after another until its form suddenly changed. So followed what had once been a class. The youth will lead around into the future. Stronger communist movement, increased pop political strength, and reduced university throughput in FARS, or they ought to focus on their studies. Half the modifiers for universities. Communist movement doesn't get stronger, but 5% of academics become more radical. I'm going to pick the second one. I think that's just the way it's got to go. Alright, we are pushing forward in Sichuan with our conquest there. We're pushing forward in Korea with our righteous self-defense there. Tesla Mars in default, not my problem. Alright, and our force comparison has gotten much better, because I think the Ottomans have to deal with this thing going on in Serbia. So this is good. Their loss is our gain at this stage. Now, can I set... I can. Alright, I'm going to set my war goal as my strategic objective so that I can snag that as quickly as I can and not have there be a gigantic headache. Alright, Japan is being thoroughly naval invaded. We're getting good progress going here in Alxa. And we're getting good occupation running all along the fronts in Iraq, in what is today Iraq. So this is good. This is good. Ottoman Empire has lost 90% of the battles. They've got a large radical population. How's my war support? I have... I'm getting a big penalty to war support from a radical population. My fervor is high. Alright, beautiful. Sichuan has become a protectorate. Alright, so you improve relations. We'll get this... We'll get this army on their way to the main front. Now, Sichuan's Liberty Desire is actually going up. Mostly from poor relations. Alright. Clout of anti-government political lobbies and interest group. Alright, that's the completion of our motor industries. So this is interesting. Can I outrun this? I can support the regime. I've got a little bit of legitimacy to play with. I think I'm going to do that. So that's going to get their Liberty Desire going down. Really, it's the tech spread one that I often go to. Oh, now my socialist movement has become revolutionary, which is a shame because I don't wish to fight revolutions, but I have the ability to fight revolutions if I need to. We're doing very well in this war. I've almost got a hold of Hejaz fully. And we've got another event. Ah, we got an election popping off. Thought it wasn't going to be quite yet, but it is. The popularity contest. The eyes of the electorate have turned to the candidates that seek to acquire a position at the head of the government. As the election approaches, voters debate who would provide the best leadership for Iran. I quite like Hedayat, mused one of the men at the bar. I couldn't say what it is I agree with him on, but I think he has a good head on his shoulders. His neighbors spoke up. I have to look past the company he keeps? Oh, why not? Allah knows you could say the same of any of us. Nobody is better to handle a fool than his friend. Abbas Hedayat is the man for the hour. Extra momentum for the Society for Progress. That's the industrialists and intelligentsia. A term of Mozaffar ad-Din Ayrum is what the country needs. Extra momentum for the Learned Council. Or Sattar Khan has the character for the job. Extra momentum for the Revival Party. Interesting. Okay, so the Learning Council is still the devout and the rural folk. Sattar Khan with the Revival Party is the petite bourgeoisie and the trade unions, which is an interesting combination. I'm going to go with Mozaffar ad-Din Ayrum, which is my kind of always who I go to. Once the week pops over, we'll figure out what it's looking like in terms of the election. So there's that. Alright, looks like the Learning Council's got a very solid majority. With the Revival Party coming up second, so we'll see how things go. And this battle should close out, should get me complete control of Hejaz. The Rebels' doctor A doctor in the Iranian Trucial Coast has been caught aiding wounded dissidents and revolutionaries. His aid isn't just helping his patients, but it's emboldening the entire rebel movement. The doctor's defense attorney leaned back, nursing a small headache. The medical man had proven impossible to work with. His attempts at a defense had just dug a deeper hole for himself. His waffling was painful. His refusal to trust his counsel or even his kinfolk had ruined his chances of getting a lighter sentence. His persistent denials had served only to make his name mud. Investigate the medical profession in Iranian Trucial Coast for sympathizers. 20% of academics pops there become more radical. Reduce progress of the movement by 5%. Or, this one doctor was an obvious lone wolf. There's no need to follow up on this. 2% of academics pops in the whole country become more radical. Reduce progress of the movement. I'm going to pick the first one. It's just good sense. It's all there. It's all there and only there. So our socialist movement's pretty weak. It's going to take Tabriz, which is an important industrial area, and Mazandaran, which also is, but that's it. So does the Ottoman Empire... Ooh, sea lane strategies. Excellent. Does the Ottoman Empire still have war support protection? They do not. Alright, so it's only a matter of time now before we win. A tumultuous... Actually, before we do this event, let's enable sea lane strategies. Oh, I need training method streamlining for my barracks and conscription centers. But also, I got a fleet what needs upgrading, and it needs another leader. Let's go with this Shia Islam fellow, Abdul Samad Farman Farma. Bring this gentleman in as a rear admiral, and I think we are going to upgrade these torpedo boats to scout cruisers because we've got radios available. Alright, a tumultuous campaign. While campaigning for the Learned Council in turmoil-racked Hormuz, Ibrahim Esfahani, a Luddite associated with the Shia Ulema, has been attacked and brutally beaten by a group of unknown assailants. When the crowd cleared and the screaming stopped, all that was left in the street was his prostrate form, bruised, cut, barely recognizable as the titan he had represented not 5 minutes before. Some rest and recuperation would be best. He becomes scarred and they lose momentum. Get back to the trail right away. He gets wounded and we gain momentum. Or, of course, we know who it was. It was us. He gets wounded in shell shock. Electoral confidence is reduced by 5%. And the Learning Council loses a bunch of momentum. So I don't want to do that. I think I'm going to... So I want to give them momentum. So let's look at the difference between scarred and wounded. Scarred, I think, is just popularity. Yeah, it's popularity, slightly reduced character health. Or get back to the trail right away is wounded... is wounded... And wounded is reduced character health, and as commander, increased morale loss. I'm going to say get back to the trail right away. I'm okay with him becoming wounded. He's an agitator and a Luddite, and I don't necessarily need Luddite agitators. These fronts are still technically the same front. Hijazi Yemen is held partially by us. But we're making good progress, so I'm feeling pretty confident. We're also making good progress on the Korea front, which makes me feel pleased. Yeah, the Turkmen national movement is continuing to increase in radicalism, which is really not shocking given that I'm at high taxes and I'm going to stay there for a while now. You know, here's hoping we get our war with the Ottoman done before the other stuff pops off. Fruitful endorsements. In a gesture of solidarity with the Learned Council, Nasser ad-Din Makhzoom has encouraged his supporters to vote for it in the ongoing election. For the interest of all principled people, the Learned Council has a consistent record of excellence. I cannot speak higher of those brave men and women moving Iran forwards under their name. He has our thanks, certainly, extra momentum for the Learned Council, or his endorsement best be more specific. Not quite as much momentum for the Learned Council, but it's still 20 more as opposed to 30 more. But the rural folk get stronger. Not even a question. I'm going to go with the first one. The rural folk are so weak in the country as a whole that it's not even a comparison point. I need more telephones. Gosh. But I don't know that I necessarily have the money to increase the size of my electrics industry. Sure would be cool if the private sector would do it. I'm going to build them up in FARs. Let me look at how short I am on this. I'm short by quite a bit. Yeah, a bunch of them are being exported. Someone's using them in government admin. I don't need too many more. I'm going to increase them in FARs. This is going to cost a barrel full of money, but that's okay. I can live with it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. The Sacred Union. With war consuming the nation, we can and must try to bury our differences. A call to defend our nation may do much to calm down the unrest at home, although we will have to offer something to our opponents to get them to fully buy in. In our great struggle, the nation calls upon her sons to step forth and defend their families, and calls for all party leaders to come forward and pledge that we shall strive on together until the day of victory. The Sacred Union will not falter, will not break, in the face of hardship and hostility. In war we shall find peace, slightly stronger everyone, and +3 interest group approval. Oh, everyone who's not in the government. Urgh. For 2 years, but +3 interest group approval. Or there's no reason to embolden our opponents with empty promises. Weaker everyone outside the government, but increase the progress of the revolution. I'm going to pick the second one. I don't know that the revolution is necessarily going to pop off. They're only at 87%. Hey, Japan bailed out of the war. Wonderful. They're only at 80% militancy, so I think my chances are pretty good over here. Alright, our fronts have been consolidated, very good. Korea's still an active front, but barely. We are going to close that out pretty much inevitably. A radical expansion. The ideas of the Revival Party have been raising interest throughout the country, leading to potential turmoil. Those who profess to favor freedom yet depreciate agitation are people who want crops without plowing the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the roar of its many waters. They should expand even further. 2% of Pops in Iraqi Ajami, the capital, become more radical. 20% momentum added to the Revival Party. They are compromising the unity of Iran. Salty petite bourgeoisie, reduced momentum for them. Or someone should convince them to stop. 5% of Pops in Iraqi Ajami become more radical, minus 30% momentum. Can I get a clean sweep for the Learning Council? I think I might be able to. I'm going to go with... Oh, man. I'm going to go with the second one. I think the petite bourgeoisie being mad doesn't really hurt that much. Oh, they are providing extra bureaucracy to me, though. Decisions. I'm going to go with the radicals. I know that's probably dumb, but I'm going to do it. Ooh, Uyghur National Awakening. Nice. Alright. Ersatz food. Oh, that's not good. I don't like that. Struggling people in Turkmenia have been desperately trying to get their hands on any food they can. Dire warnings of a turnip winter have been spreading throughout the region. Last week, all we could get was pig's feed. This week, I'm not even sure what this stuff is. Is that sawdust? At least food substitutes will fill people's stomachs. Extra 2% mortality, that's not good. Try to increase local food production by any means. Reduce agriculture tax income but increase agriculture throughput in Turkmenia. Where we can't do anything for them. Reduced agriculture and plantations throughput by 25%. Socialist movement increases in revolutionary by 10%. I'm going to go with the middle one. I basically always do that. It just seems like a win-win. It's so little money that it's like barely even a factor. Alright, we are chipping away at the Ottomans' willingness to fight at a good clip now. We are starting to lose war support ourselves, but I'm not really that concerned about this. The thing that's really making things tough is our economy, but I feel as though we have the power to continue to press through. Our economy the fundamentals of our economy are strong. Never mind all the countries I keep stealing to get myself the necessary tribute to keep things running. Just too bad. Tell you what, I'm going to increase relations with Shibei preemptively. Hey, there's mutual funds, so that gives us a minting bonus, which is nice. Spain, who are you going after here? Bhutan? I can't be bothered. I don't know how you're planning to get there, but it is what it is. France going after Gili. Oh, here. Oh, France is going for a protectorate in China as well. They stole my idea. I am going to increase relations with the Heavenly Kingdom. Again, they're people of the book, so... Oh, jeepers. Okay, alright, well, we're going to have to deal with this situation in Mongolia. There's a communist revolt popping off, and I've got to stop it, so... That's simply going to be something I've got to handle. The Infernal Machine, oh no! An attempt on the life of the Ayatollah has killed many but spared our ruler. A complex device and self-damage to the attack is the only trace of the revolutionary left at the site of the attack. It's hard to say what happened. I heard a slow explosion, like a ragged platoon fire, and there was smoke and chaos all around. The people to my right and left were cut down where they stood, but I was untouched. I looked off towards the Ayatollah, and there was just as suddenly a bloody void surrounding him. Limit Mozaffar ad-Din's public appearance for a while. He loses some popularity. Or this crime is obviously the fault of Nasser ad-Din Paisyan. 33% chance revolution goes down by 10%. 33% chance he becomes on the run, which reduces popularity, or 33% chance he's cleared of charges, and the revolution goes up by 10%. I don't want to reduce the popularity of my ruler. I'm going to go with the second one, and we'll see what happens. He got cleared of charges. Investment banks is spreading. Excellent. Japan sides with Gili against the French. Okay. Not my business either way. Supporting the Ottoman workers. We will support the workers in the Ottoman Empire, boosting the power of their trade unions. Maybe we believe in the international cause of the working man, maybe we don't. In the end, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the Ottoman trade unions get stronger. Are they They're an autocratic monarchy? An excellent idea. Trade unions gets increased movement prop attraction by 20%, or this would be ill-advised, they get weaker. I'm going to go with the first one. Again, I think that's their trade unions, not mine. Alright, so... Still got a righteous government going on. Should be able to deal with this communist uprising in Mongolia without a problem. God's will. Oh, snuck in right under the wire. Mozaffar ad-Din Ayrum of the Shia Ulema has been seen preaching in favor of the Learning Council, convinced that their victory has been foreseen in Allah's plans. Do you think that Allah would not have a plan for our pious nation? Of course there's a plan. There must always be a plan. I've seen it myself, let me tell you. I've seen it just as clear as I see you all right now, just before my eyes. And who else to lead this adrift government other than those who can clearly read that plan? Were we to stand against Allah's will, 10% stronger Shia Ulema? Such a shame the nation is not ruled by Allah then, he loses a bunch of popularity. Or, but surely Allah wants the revival party to win. 10% extra momentum for them. I'm going to go with the first one for increased pop strength, or increased strength for the Learning Council. They take 64% of the vote. The Anti-Spanish League has dissolved. How have our politics changed? We got the landowners and the armed forces marginalized. Intelligentsia close to being marginalized. Industrialists pretty close to being marginalized. Learning Council's got 65% of the vote, so I'm feeling pretty confident here. I can't pull the revival party into the government because the trade unions are insurrectionary. Which just makes sense. Coup in Korea, interesting. Armed forces have fallen out. Okay, alright, here we go. Now comes the political change. Okay, the armed forces and the intelligentsia have both fallen out of the political scene in Tehran, meaning the trade unions are still around, petite bourgeoisie and industrialists. Rural folk are still here, though, which is also interesting. We are continuing to press forward in the Ottoman Empire. I don't see any barriers. Can I improve relations with Hejaz? I can't. Eventually. Eventually. Alright, how's this situation going on? It's progressing reasonably. Reza Shirazi has died, so that's a general lost. There's still sufficient command capacity in all my armies, looks like I do. So I'm not going to need to worry about that too much. How are we doing for tech? Right, we're working on the Dreadnought and then the Destroyer, and then we're going to have NCO training, and then we're not going to need to worry about any of this garbo. In the hands of the state. Did he smash his head into a cell wall? Was he tortured to death? The official story that the trade union's affiliated revolutionary died from cholera convinces only the gullible and the woefully blind. Only one thing is for certain. His supporters are livid, and they're out for blood. It was the Freemasons, I tell you. I heard it from the butcher down the road that the warden's a member of that accursed cabal. It's them or the Bedouins, or both. The Ayatollah's one of them. That's why they offed him. The Ayatollah is Bedouin? Listen, kid, he says, blowing a cloud of thick smoke into the dimly lit room. There's a lot of things they don't teach you in school. Murderers, cries the crowd. Extra progress for the socialist revolution by 10%. Trade unions get 5% stronger and a little angrier. Or only Allah and the warden knows for sure. Let us kindly ask the latter. This increased socialist movement activism. I don't like that. 3% devastation. So do I make the trade unions stronger, or do I think I go with the second one. I remain firmly convinced of my ability to fight off a socialist revolution at the same time as these other wars. Is that total arrogance on my part? Is that just absurd, ridiculous arrogance on my part? Maybe. But you know, I'm feeling feisty. Gilly backs down. All right, so they've become a French puppet now. Interesting. What is going on between Xibei and Sichuan? Sichuan is going to conquer Ningxia and Chongqing. Okay. Okay. You know what? But let's be reasonable about this. First of all, am I in this interaction? They're cocky, they're confident. I have the ability to negotiate support. I have the ability to negotiate support for a war goal. For a make protectorate war goal. But this does make me... Okay, hold on. $17.5 infamy, so it would be okay, but I believe this would make me the primary war initiator. I don't think anyone would be able to stop me, but it would be a risk if I got involved. Their liberty desire is going up, but only a little. I'm getting a very good bonus from supporting their regime. I'm going to give them knowledge sharing as well. This is going to goof my tech spread, but it's going to be worth it. And I think I'm going to let them do their thing. I'm going to keep an eye on the situation. Wallachia is in default. Again, I think my primary thing I'm interested in here is making sure that... Alright, so there's the Mongolian Communist Revolt breaking off. Popping off. Alright, France remains neutral. Mexico remains neutral. Heavenly Kingdom remains neutral. See, I don't know... If I get into this, I don't know whether or not France gets involved. I'm not standing to lose anything, though. They're also going for Inner Mongolia. So most of the country. Yeah, I think I'm just going to let it be. You get him, Sichuan. You can do it. I believe in you. Mother approves. See, this is good for me, because if Sichuan can move up to being a regional power, an unrecognized regional power, then that's good for me, because it means my power block can grow at a higher rate. Ottoman Empire is for sure going to pop off at this stage. 10 more weeks, and then this war will be done. Industrialists are steaming. A disgruntled consortium of industrialists, unhappy with the government, are demanding compensation. If we refuse, they threaten to throw their lot in with the revolution. An insurrection would be a setback, a stall on Iran's road to becoming a modern nation, but perhaps an inevitable one. If there is to be war, it would certainly be better for it to be quick. Could you make it quick? Let's settle for this deal. Stronger and happier industrialists. Interesting. Let's pass. Their price is too high. -7 interest group approval. And they become insurrectionary. Or the only thing they'll get is time in prison. 15% weaker, -10 stuff. Interesting. I think I gotta settle for the deal. It's only them becoming slightly stronger. It's not actually going to cost me any money. So yeah, I'll make them stronger and happier. It's fine. It's fine. I can deal with this. The procession of provocations. Dissidents in Iranian Trucial Coast have announced plans for a major march around government offices in the near future. While they profess peaceful intentions and claim everyone will be unarmed, the march itself will obviously serve as a rallying point for those unhappy with the government. That damn parade and that infernal music. I can even see them from here, but I can't even see them from here, but I can hear them loud and clear. Stop that march by any means necessary. 2%, 1/3 chance each. It's got to be one of the three options. 2% of pops become more radical. 10% of pops become more radical, and the Turkmen national movement gets stronger. And the Turkmen national movement increases in radicalism, or it progresses towards revolution by 5%. Or 33% chance the revolution progress goes down by 5%. Or let the procession go ahead. 5% of pops become more radical for sure. And then 50-50 chance of the secession movement going up by either up or down by 10%. I'm going to stop the march and we'll see if that pops off the movement. It doesn't. Alright, beautiful. Alright, now the socialist movement is progressing to 97%. So they're okay. They're okay. Oh, this is gonna be a tough couple of years. I may have made an error. Mongolian Communist Revolt is sorted out. There is 4th Iranian Army, come back to the homeland, please. Oh, I really would love to be able to demobilize my armies right now. Things are just really... Oh my goodness. What happened? Shive had a reactionary revolt, and now there's a 3-way war. Unbelievable. I hope Sichuan is still able to get what they want, because if they got all this infamy for nothing, that would be a real tragedy. Britain. You would like a trade. Trade privileges and investment rights. Trade privileges and investment rights. I have my own power block now. Let's negotiate. I don't want an alliance. I want a defensive pact. Only 52% chance on this. If I cancel investment rights, that's... Ooh. If I just go for trade privileges, well, but investment rights wouldn't be that bad for me, necessarily. So I can get my defensive pact for sure if I go for just trade privileges. Ooh. Where's investment rights? Okay, here we go. I don't want other countries building in me. I've made that mistake before. It's late in the game now. I'm gonna propose trade privileges and a defensive pact. Hopefully I don't get caught up in any nonsense. Beautiful. Hopefully it is the British who become caught up in nonsense. Probably should have asked for money, but the AI is really weird about money. Alright, so Sichuan is successfully invading Xibei, and there is the Ottoman Empire sorted out. And there's my troops demobilized, which is nice. Alright, cash flow is not as good as it should be, but it's still okay. Army is returning from exile. Very good. Alright, and now it's just a matter of awaiting our various revolutions. Alright, cash flow is doing much better. I am actually going to check out my... Ooh, I can go with public motor carriages. Oh, do I have... Oh, I can go to publicly traded. Nice. Don't pay any attention to that thing. I can build automotive industries. I didn't even realize. Well, that's nice. Where can we build? Where's a good place? Well, we're importing all of our cars right now. So that's obviously not what we want to do. One of these produces 30 automobiles, so we need 10 levels ultimately. But I can't build them too fast. Your inputs are rubber, oil, and engines. So where are our engine industries? And we do have the private sector building stuff. Pashtunistan, Tabriz, and Iraqi Ajami. Alright, so let's build. Now, I need to. Only the private sector can handle this. I need to knock out some of this debt because I'm doing quite poorly. All right, so now this war between Xibei and Sichuan is for the remaining conquest war goals that they were making against Sichuan. All right, beautiful. So here's hoping my lads win. Seems like they might not be winning, but I'm hoping they win. I'm hoping they win real good. I can't afford to reduce the size of the government. I could increase taxation, but that's just begging for a disaster. I can reduce government wages, but I don't want to do that. Alright. Jalaluddin Sabanshi has been exiled from the Ottomans. He's an ethno-nationalist. Well, I don't wish to have him around. Mutually beneficial. Now that we have more publicly traded companies, we should focus on what comes next. I don't see the problem. What's wrong with more money? Are you telling me if they offered you more money, you would say no? It's not about getting more money. It's about who's getting the money. The rich get richer, it would seem. This might affect our politics, stronger trade unions, stronger industrialists, or maybe we can use this elsewhere. Extra progress on international exchange standards. You know, I would love extra progress on international exchange standards, thank you. I would be absolutely delighted by that. I'm suppressing all of my left-wing movements. We're hurtling towards an age of dissent. So let's. Well, we'll see if vultures upon a carcass is starting. Oh my gosh! Opportunistic members of the petite bourgeoisie have defected to the trade union's cause. Carrying crows pluck from fresh deaths no matter the cause. Some, however, sense when a still living beast is about to die. The creature will wait, however long it takes for said meal to die, but better to be the first there with the choicest pick of meat than fighting for the scraps. Unless you're a crow, because crows will often... Crows know that they're not very good at telling if an animal is dead or not, so they will often wait until it develops fresh maggots for them to eat, as opposed to going and trying to eat the corpse. Alright, so I can say, so be it. Trade unions stronger, petite bourgeoisie weaker. Or try to coax them back. Half as much trade unions getting stronger and petite bourgeoisie weaker, but losing bureaucracy. Gotta go with the first one. So be it. It is what it is. I can't let my trade unions... I can't cost myself any more bureaucracy. This war could be really bloody. The Turkmen national movement popping off is not that big of a deal, but the socialist revolution, well, it's actually not going to be that bad. No, Trucial Socialist Revolt. It's them. It's someone else's thing. How did the Ottoman Empire get a chunk of the Trucial coast from the Trucial states? That's so strange. Alright, I aim to improve relations with Hejaz to get their liberty desire, to keep their liberty desire going down. I should be able to steal Yemen. Alright, hold on. If I take Yemen, that's increase their liberty desire by 100. Okay, I need to hold off on that then. Is all of their economy there? Weird. Things are actually really bad in Hejaz and Yemen. And then, nothing. A militant of the anarchist movement has assassinated Ismail Esfahani in the streets of Shiraz using a homemade bomb. He's our market liberal, aligned with the intelligentsia. An atmosphere of terror has descended upon the city in the wake of the assassination. For a brief, insane moment, Marcia thought that the man was waving. And then she saw the object in the air, the man turning to run, Esfahani raising his hand to shield his face, and then it hit. There was a terrible clap, a burst of pressure, a puff of smoke that seemed far smaller than it should be. A hideous ringing drowned out all other sound. She saw Esfahani step forward, out of the smoke, and dumbly look down at where his hand had been. Then his knees gave way, and a slick of red ruin spilled across the cobbles. You will be avenged. The entire country gets increased mortality per turmoil, minus 10% anarchist movement pop attraction, 5% of intelligentsia member pops become more loyalists, and he dies. Or long live anarchy. Half as much mortality per turmoil, half as much reduction to the anarchist movement pop attraction, 2% of pops from Iran become more radical, anarchist movement increases in activism. I'm going to do the first one. He'll be avenged. It's going to get me some free loyalists. And I need loyalists really bad right now. That's actually going to reduce the progress of my socialist movement significantly. Which is good. Wow. I gained a lot of loyalists from that. Maybe I gained them from some other reason. Okay. Alright, so our movements are kind of collapsing backward in radicalism. Sichuan is winning their war. Very nice. Proud of them. Their liberty desire is going down, and our relations are improving. Slowly but surely. We're getting, once we get past -20, it'll be smooth sailing. I'll be very pleased at that point. Now I still have the ability to go after Tuva. Once Xibei has been conquered, they're conquered. But again, that's fine. Sichuan is on my side. They will be a Shiite nation soon. And then all will be well. And also, if they get a little stronger, then I'll increase my progress on my other thing. I need to build one more government sector. Actually, I need to build 3 more government sectors. I just need it. It's costing me a pile of cash, but it's only for a few weeks. Again, I really need to chip away at this interest, because this national debt is gigantic. I am paying a huge amount. Now, I'm paying it chiefly to my own investment pool, which is alright. And they are dramatically increasing the size of my economy over time, or at least they're trying to. It doesn't seem like they're having much success, but we're doing our best. Yeah, chipping away at... Ooh, Destroyer is almost finished by itself, so hopefully we'll make good progress with NCO training. Revolution in Manchuria. But it's the Fengtian clique, so I don't need to care. Nice. Perfect. Everything is coming up Iran. Now I need to really be careful about my cash flow. What? These numbers are not... I'm not loving this. What is going on here? Alright. Unregulated automobiles. Due to a spate of accidents, there have been calls to regulate automobiles. It is being reported that 2 automobiles crashed into each other at high speed, severely injuring the occupants. Faster than a horse and twice as heavy. If people don't see why that's dangerous, I don't know what to tell you. Stricter laws make safer streets, reduce motor industry's throughput, industrialists mad, or people merely need to adjust, industrialists happy, or automobiles should have the right of way, 5% of lower startup pops in the whole country become more radical. I'm just going to do the second one, industrialists being happy and no penalties. To a promotion. The Shia Ulema demand the promotion of Major General Abdul Samad Esfahani, touting his history of loyal and effective service. So many medals adorned his jacket that one could scarcely see the fabric beneath. But it was not yet enough. Chest puffed out with pride, the general smiled as he imagined the look on Hedayat's face when the field marshal learned of his imminent ascension. Their rivalry was legendary among the officers. At last he would have his due. Abdul Samad Esfahani has earned it. He's promoted to a lieutenant general and increases in liberty and the Shia Ulema increase in interest group approval. Or the Shia Ulema will not force our hand. They become they become unhappy and he loses popularity. I'm going to do the first one. I think that's just fine. I'm happy with the Shia Islam having a nice general. Telephones are still expensive. I already built up the electric sector. I can't afford to do more. Ooh. 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 My movements fell off. Well, my socialist movement I'm still suppressing. I think my anarchist movement exploded. Yeah, my anarchist movement exploded itself. Nice. All right, now I can go back to charging consumption taxes on stuff. Let's do automobiles. It just seems like a non-question. I'm perfectly happy to charge consumption taxes on automobiles. That's just good sense. Heavy-handedness. I like this. Muzaffar ad-Din Ayrum mistook an enemy in the industrialists. After accusing them of false charges, moderates the industrialists defected to the trade union's cause. The briefest flash of anger can make an enemy of a friendly face. It can make even the staunchest allies split each other over a misunderstanding, and once it is cast, there is no going back. Their new bedfellows may not be so accommodating. 50% chance of a positive partnership, increasing the interest group attraction and political strength of both parties. Minus 15% chance of reduced interest group attraction and reduced popularity for someone. Also moves the socialist movement up by 5% in revolution progress. Or Muzaffar ad-Din Ayrum should stand down. He loses some popularity and reduce revolution progress by 5%. I'm going to go with the first one. This is a risk, but I think it's worth it. Socialist movement went up. I'm not sure which option that means, but I'm okay with this. It's all right. They're going down in activism. You'll see. It's fine. We got this. We got this, fam. Ottoman Empire is below me in great power ranks now, which I'm very, very pleased with. Oil has been discovered in Yemen. Excellent. One day I'll be able to take it from the Hijaz, but not today. There's the destroyer. Beautiful. We're almost done with the dreadnought. And then it's all NCO incorporation all the time, baby. Alright, Sichuan is winning their war. They are going down in Liberty Desire now that our relations are better. We're supporting their regime and providing them with knowledge sharing. This is very good. This is very good. I'm actually really, really pleased with the Sichuan situation. If they can win this war, then they can seize a bunch more territory. And as I've said, there we go. Beautiful. So, does that make you... Yes! They're a regional power now. Excellent. Oh, I'm so very pleased. Now, Anhui. Is it nutty of me to try to get another subject? No, I can't do it. It's too much infamy. It's too much infamy. Ooh, plastics. Excellent. I do not mind if I do. Give me the plastics. Give me the bone china. Heck yes. They're just pretending not to be profitable. My cup overfloweth with glass. With glass and with porcelain. I'm gonna subvene export of this stuff by a lot. Get on the market. Dreadnought unlocked. Nice. Maybe I'm overrunning supply here. Maybe the glass situation... Maybe I'm going too aggressive. No, they're profitable. They're profitable. Hold on. Let me just see if this... No. They desire the bone china. They desire to be more productive. Alright. Plastic production. The switch to plastics in our glassworks is set to revolutionize the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a world first. Behold, this perfectly carved ivory chess piece. Beautiful, no? What if I were to tell you that it is not ivory at all, but a new material known as plastic? Plastic is the future. Extra glassworks building throughput. We should spread this knowledge. Ottoman Empire gets progress on plastics. Hell no. I will keep the plastics. Okay, so the socialist movement seems to be slowing. I am getting... I've got a lot of radicals. Most of that's due to high taxes, but I need to keep taxes high. Reforms at gunpoint. Now this is interesting. Locusts are swarming. With the revolutionary sentiment boiling over across the nation, Ayatollah Muzaffer ad-Din Ayrum's advisors in the Shia Ulema have recommended a package of reforms to appease the revolutionaries. The situation is serious. The capital is in a state of anarchy. The government is paralyzed. Transport services and the supply of food and fuel have become completely disrupted. General discontent is growing. There must be no delay. Any procrastination is tantamount to death. Mikhail Rodzyanko. This proposal shall save Iran from the radicals' depredations. Change progress of socialist movement by minus 25%. Iran enables old age pension in welfare. That's a little bit of a hard one. 5% of pops in Iran become more radical. Or the Shia Ulema will serve as our greatest defenders against revolutions. Only 2% of Iran becomes loyalist. Socialist progress minus 15% enables old age pensions. All right. And Shia Ulema stronger and happier. Or the revolutionaries cannot be sated; they must be crushed. Increase by 15%. Increased political movement activism. Shia Ulema unhappy. So, if we go with old age, so what are we currently on? We're currently on poor laws. If we go to old age pensions, so currently we're at 60% welfare payments, 6% food security, reduced political strength when receiving welfare. This will increase dependent enfranchisement, dependents income, and building wage target. 90% welfare payments. How much are we spending on welfare payments right now? It's probably not that much, because it rarely is. Oh, it's actually quite a bit. So this is going to spike that number. That's interesting. I didn't realize I had so much unemployment. All right. We're going to do it. So there's old age pensions. I'm going to drop back my Social Security investment. It's going to give me a bunch of loyalists. And hopefully that's going to kneecap these movements. At the very least, the socialist movement should start falling into activism. So this is going to create a little bit more... Yeah, this is going to improve my politics a little bit. It's costing us a barrel full of money. We are a little bit short on bureaucracy, but I am dropping back Social Security. Now, part of the cash flow issue is the shortage of bureaucracy, so dropping back Social Security is gonna be fine with that. I lost a general. Second Army needs a leader. We'll go with the Shia Ulema guy. I feel like going with Shia Ulema guys has been largely successful for me. Alright, from here... Alright, so that's actually helping our cash flow quite a bit. Now, unemployment has dropped, but standard of living is going up now, which is good. And once I can afford to reduce taxes, I should be in a much better spot. Coup and Kutch, don't need to worry too much about that. Socialist movement is falling in radicalism. Alright, beautiful. So once they get down to protesting, I'm no longer going to need to worry about a socialist revolution, and that should be pretty good. Then it'll be just separatist movements, and I feel very confident in my ability to deal with separatist movements. Beautiful. Alright. There is... Alright, so... Reforms worked. Ottoman Empire is going after Egypt for a protectorate. I'm going to leave that be. That's none of my business. Not at all of my business. No, I can't afford more infamy. I can't afford more infamy. Long Sichuan is my subject. They're doing very well, and I'm very pleased with them. What if I just went after Tuva? What if I just went after Tuva? I can't. I can't because I don't have an interest. Okay, hold on. I can be interested in Tuva. You doubt my ability to be interested. I'm going to be interested in Dixie, too. I still haven't given up on getting the Confederacy as a puppet. I think that would be very, very funny. Austria's going after Attica. Okay, don't need to worry about that. Angosh. Socialist revolt here. I'm going to be neutral on that. This Attica situation, I can't be bothered. Internal affair in India in Surguja. I'm not familiar with that country, but it's not my business. And this is the Ottomans going after Egypt. I can support Egypt, but I'm not going to. France, get him. France, do it. Do the thing. I'm going to improve relations with the French. Relations with the Germans are still pretty good. Relations with the Kalmar Union are neutral. The Kalmar Union has proven pretty strong this run. Japan declared a rival with me. You know, okay, Japan. Okay. I'll be rivals with you. That's fine with me. We're making very good progress against our interest now, against our national debt. Portugal is going after UE. Where? Where's UE? 1,000 deaths are not enough for UE. Oh my goodness, there's a tiny... Aww. That's Portugal. How dare you? Look at little UE. How dare you, Portugal? I can't believe you. How could you do this, Portugal? Portugal, you absolute goobers. How absolute dare? There's a part of me that wonders if I don't do this. Cash flow seems to be doing much, much better now. But I'm still paying a lot in welfare. I'm paying a lot in welfare, but it is increasing standard of living significantly. Cash flow is increasing. GDP is going up. See, this is where I the temptation to simply no, I don't think so. I think I like 60% welfare payments. I think that's kind of a golden. Well, 45% building wage target. Is that how are my businesses doing? My businesses are pretty profitable. Privatize the electric industry for one thing. I think I am going to continue to do what I'm currently doing with my welfare, of bringing it down to level 2. I just think that's reasonable. It's going to bring, it's going to deal with this bureaucracy problem, and that's going to help me a lot long term. I am going down in radicals by quite a bit now, which I'm feeling pretty pleased about. Although maybe that's proof that this policy is working. See, I don't know if canceling it's going to create an immediate deficit. You know what? I am going to cancel it. Got a little bit of authority to play with. Let's throw a consumption tax on porcelain. I got so much of it, it's crazy. Alright. Bureaucracy is holding where it currently is. So, I think all I need to do to deal with that is build a little bit more governance capacity, which I can afford to do. Just a little bit. I'm addicted. My nerds, I'm addicted. I need my I need to get my administrative capacity fixed. Mazandaran, Pashtun, and Merv all need a little bit more governance. They need to be better governed. The badness of how they're governed is definitely not my responsibility. All right. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I know old age pensions wasn't really on anyone's bingo cards for the theocracy run, but you know, it wrecked my communist movement, and yeah, I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with that. I think that's just fine. The Colossal. I'm excited to find out what this... Oh, this is the... Mozafar ad-Din Irun of the Shia Ulema has determined to sponsor the construction of a memorable ocean liner in the shipyards of Baluchistan. It will be like nothing ever seen before. The majesty, the perfect reflection of the sun against its four black funnels, was sufficient to itself. A number of us who enjoyed the crisp air were promenading about the deck. There is a sense of emptiness that comes over us at evening. The kids stood silent. We couldn't talk after that. The ship, the sunset, the shameless dream of the future crystallized. People will talk about the luxury of the ship, extra prestige. We should make its construction more efficient, extra shipyards throughput. Or we have no time to follow a maniac's delusions. Shia Ulema salty, 2% laborers pops in Baluchistan become more radical. Industrialists become happier. Interesting. I can live with this second one for this third one for happier industrialists. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So this is the Titanic event, and usually what happens is the thing hits a frickin' iceberg, and everyone frickin' dies. It's a genuinely horrible time. So we are chipping away at our national debt at a rate of about 1 million every 6 or 7 weeks. So this is pretty good. However, we are still 63 million in debt. So, you know, I'm going to continue not to build, and I'm sorry to those of you who, the economic growth enjoyers. I know this is my own fault. I know it, but I can't do anything about it. Or rather, I can, but I'm not gonna. What is going on over here? Okay, so this is British against the French. And it's over Basutoland, which is this tiny country here. British are shooting at the French. You know, I'm gonna leave that one be. That's not my business, and I'm not required to assist the British. Whew. It's only a Sichuan socialist revolt. I feel Sichuan can handle this. I'm not necessarily going to mobilize anyone right now immediately. If things look like they're going to get dicey, I'll get involved. But I don't need to right now, so I'm not going to. Things are going well in my nation. I'm feeling very good about the future. Mongolia. Can I turn you to a Shiite power? I can. And then I will evangelize. It's going to increase their liberty desire by a little bit, but only by a little bit. Hejaz, how are you? You're Sunni. Relations are still quite bad. Basutoland backs down. Alright, so, no general European war this year. Force comparison still looks pretty good over here in central China. Sichuan is still helping. So, where's my power block at? We're still 11 years on progress. Alright, so, you know, my subjects didn't end up getting strong enough. That's okay, though. It's alright. We did okay, all things considered. Alright, if I take Tuva, would anyone try to stop me? No one would try to stop me. Give me 1.8 infamy. What if I simply conquered Tuva? Annex 4.5 infamy. Still nobody stops me. Are they secretly anyone else's subject? No. So I'm going to do it, and what I'm probably going to do, they're Tuvan primary culture. Heritage Siberian, language Siberian. Oh, okay. So, hold on. So... Oh, I can't simply put them in Mongolia. Alright, because they will be discriminated, and that will be very bad. So yeah, so we're going to make them a protectorate. Nobody will stop me here. They don't have any relationships that are problematic. So yeah, we will make them a protectorate. And I don't need to rush this. It's a matter that will simply sort itself out in good... I mean, it won't sort itself out in good time. I need to send troops, but it's not going to be that much of a factor. This situation is also going to sort itself out in good time. So, let's take a look at other stuff. Internal affair in Jambi. Can't be bothered. And there's investment banks. Wonderful. So that increases the number of companies I can have. Internal affair in British Niger. Niger? I think Niger. Abolitionists revolt in Mombasa. Happy for them, but I'm not going to get involved. Alright. British East Africa is having Kazembe uprising. I can ignore this safely. Tigray is having a problem. That's an Ottoman issue. I can ignore this. Oh! The Ayatollah has passed. Our new Ayatollah is Ahmad Pirna. Cruel. Political operating. Oh, he's cruel. That sucks. Oh, that sucks so bad. Him being cruel is going to reduce the standard of living in the country. Oh. Ugh, I'm very salty. I'm very, very salty. Alright. Nevertheless, we will simply... I'm going to mobilize this army as Tuva, and if I finish out Tuva before the Sichuan affair sorts itself, then I'll need to get involved over there. Ashgabat garrison refuses order. Order to violently suppress a popular riot in Ashgabat, a battalion of the Turkmeni garrison have refused their orders, claiming that the execution of such a command would run contrary to the laws of man and Allah alike. Patriotism? I would gladly raise my rifle against the enemies of Iran. Should the Ottoman Empire come knocking, I'll do my duty, as shall we all. But to raise arms against kin, against brothers in blood and faith? Sir, this we cannot do. Insubordination. String up the ringleaders and jail the rest. Reduces progress of the movement, 10% devastation. 2% of officer pops become more loyalist, 10% of servicemen pops become more radical, in Turkmenia. Or hush this down, we'll rotate the garrison out eventually. Salty armed forces. Reduce training rate. Increase the progress of the secession movement. I'm going to do the first one. I don't want my armed forces to be upset. So, now, the thing I need to figure out... I still desire to take Kyrgyzia from Russia. I still desire it. You know how much I do. Alright, so there's the socialist revolts in Sichuan. So let's keep a little bit of an eye on this, just to see and make sure that things are good to go over there, and that I don't need to concern myself with too much on this front. Economic growth is going pretty okay, actually. I've got a really rock-solid growth engine. Alright, it looks like Sichuan is winning, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I can form myself another company. You know, I haven't had... There's an assimilation company, which is interesting, but could I get a conversion company? Because that's what would be really nice. Army offense and defense, that's a hard one, though. Formation speed, that's nice. Reduce supply consumption, that's nice. Maybe the answer is reduce radicals from political movements. I feel like that's very good. Oh, this one's also increased morale recovery. All right. Bunga and Hasar e Sedrat e Taryak. Congratulations, you're formed. Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm very pleased that Sichuan is continuing to go down in Liberty Desire. And that's the Socialist Revolt there, sorted out. Heavenly Kingdom is still a major, which means I cannot simply force them to be a protectorate, much as I would wish to do so. A revolt in the Nejd. Oh, interesting. A Hijazi Proletarian Revolt. Let's see if I can finish out Tuva before that pops off and don't need to go back. Because I would like to keep my cash flow as clean as possible. My financial situation is bad, but it mobilizing more armies when I don't necessarily need to is something that I would like to avoid if at all possible. Alright, here we go. There's a battle finishing out. Very nice. 25% occupation. Oh, I might be able to do this. I might be able to do this. Battle number 2 is finished. Do I have allies going here to not really. Urgh. I might be cutting this real close. What if I brought somebody in? Oh, I can't bring somebody in. I can only... Oh, I was almost losing that battle. Alright, that's battle number 3. That puts me at 78% occupation. Come on. And there's NCO training. Beautiful. Alright, so I think from a tech standpoint, now we're full speed ahead on production. I need electric railways, and I need them bad. Then I need the storm turbine, the steam turbine. Oh my goodness. I've already got combustion engine. I don't feel like I need any of this other stuff right now immediately, so I'm just going to leave that be. Society, we're still looking okay. I would love, actually, international exchange standards and multilateral alliances. That's probably going to take us through to the end of the game. Alright, come on. Hopefully this will be the last battle. Excellent. Alright. I am going to upgrade all infantry and move this army to the front. Alright, we're upgrading to squad infantry. I'm actually going to upgrade all of my army so that we'll be ready the next time the Ottoman comes calling. Alright, hopefully this unit will get... it's going to be 56 days. Oh, that's okay. No, we got a force comparison here now. Well, we got a force comparison here that's high because I've got an army on the way. You know what? I'm okay with this war lasting a little bit longer. I know this is like totally a blasé way of referring to the lives of my subjects here in the Hejaz, but I simply have to do things the way I'm doing them right now. Now, if their capital is being permanently in Yemen, I will be so mad. I will be furioso. I will be the biggest mad it's ever been. Oh, now I got a radio shortage. I'm totally goobered. Alright, hold on. Am I building radios with all of my electrics industry? I am. Alright, so Mazandaran will build a few more in you, and Tabriz a few more in you. And hopefully that'll give me enough radios to be able to do all the things I want to do. Alright, so they've taken control of part of the Nejd now. But once my army's here, it's only going to be 1 more week, and then I'll be good to go. Oh my gosh, there's a fundamentalist revolt going on in Punjab. Alright, I'm not going to do this again. I stand by my previous decision. Nevertheless, this time I intend to do something. Guns and steam. Abdul Samad Farman Farma has successfully deployed our impressive dreadnoughts in the ongoing conflicts, proving that they are not mere vanity projects for the Navy. At first, onlookers were shocked as it appeared from a distance that the ship itself had exploded. In fact, the flames engulfing it were from its first full broadside. The ship itself was quite unharmed, although I have later heard that it is inadvisable to keep any fragile objects on board for such an occasion. More impressive now than ever. Extra prestige? Or now we know how to use them effectively even in peacetime. Extra prestige from Navy power projection. No thanks, I'll just go with the flat prestige. My Navy is tiny and my armies are huge. Now I'm costing myself money. This is a hairball. I hate it. But I've gotta invest in my electrics industry. I've got to. I've simply got to. It's goobering my barracks not to have the radios I need to be radioing my radio. Make protectorate in Indonesia by the United States. USA? Or they're going after Pontianak. I'm going to be better friends with you, USA, just a little bit. And we can hope life imitates art. All right. And I will eventually take Yemen from Hejaz. Photographs of Iran. Oh, excellent. It has been suggested that we take and distribute some pictures of our country's most famous landmarks. So many wonderful places all across our country. It just seems right. The world should get to see them too. We should distribute them internationally, 5% prestige. We should distribute them domestically, extra legitimacy. I often go for legitimacy here, but this time I'm going to go for prestige. I need the prestige. I'm goofy in the prestige rankings right now. Abdulamuddin Sahidullah has been exiled from Suva. Cause without a rebel. Although Nasr ad-Din Maksum, this is once again our rural folk land reformer, is still fighting for his cause, no one is following him anymore. Despondent, Maksum has started publicly remarking that he may give up on his activism altogether. What's the point? The speakers we have need to speak to empty halls and in empty chairs. There's no crowds, no banners. If anyone pays attention at all, they never understand anything we're preaching. What reason is there to stay here? We're all stuck doing nothing. Perhaps Nasr ad-Din Maksum can find greener pastures elsewhere. He's exiled. Or no time for timidity. The movement needs drastic changes. Pick one of three, 33% chance each. The movement gets stronger, it gets weaker, or it gets more active. So he's the peasant movement. I don't need a stronger peasant movement. He's exiled. Get out of here. Alright, so we've nearly got full control of the Hijazi proletarian revolt, so hopefully this will sort itself in good order. Whichever way forward. With the attitudes of the Shia ulema towards the United States growing more apathetic, their leadership has begun to discuss reassessing the country's support for the Iranian American League. It was more difficult to get appointments at the foreign ministry these days. The initial interest they had inspired had long since waned, the lobby's activities falling into Tehran's background noise. The Shia ulema were the first to lose interest, their representatives initially disheartened by an absence of news, then no longer inclined to read the papers when they arrived at all. What reason do we have to care for happenings in Washington? Their younger members challenged. The elders did not know how to respond. Time for a change in course. They leave the Iranian American League, or why change something that works? They remain. The Iranian American League is pretty well appeased right now, so they should stay. Alright, we are making good progress forward. We've got 64% occupation now. Punjabi fundamentalist revolt is popping off. Once I've finished building these electrics industries, I should be doing better, but right now I'm still pretty badly goobered by my national debt. Oh, and it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse now that I got a bureaucracy shortage. Gosh dang! Gosh dang! One day you, my friend, will be able to be reduced to a puppet, and on that day I will be very happy. Juva is going down in Liberty Desire at a very healthy clip. Let me take a quick look at my subjects. Sort by subject type. My two protectorates are Sichuan and Tuva, alright. And I am evangelizing in all my puppets, am I not? Everyone except for the Hejaz, which of course I can't evangelize in because they're... There we go. Because they are Sunni and not Shia. It's not that I can't evangelize in them, but I don't get any benefit out of it. Now, Sichuan, can I change your state religion 2 more years? Gili backs down. They're now a puppet of the French. Okay, interesting. Shanxi remains fully independent. Oh boy, there's a big, hold on. There's a big diplomatic play happening. The Spanish are going after the Brits. Truly, I wish they were not. But I might be able to get something useful out of this if the Brits pull me in. An anti-Ottoman league. I didn't have an anti-Ottoman league before? That's bananas. I can't believe this. Alright. I need more governance capacity. So let's build some. We'll just do... Wow, actually, I need a lot more. My economy has been growing. Which is good. But it's costing me money. Simply the nature of the beast. Japan is going after... who? Chungi. French Republic signs with Spain. Oh man, I'm gonna have to actually get involved in this war, aren't you? Unfortunately, I have to get involved. Maybe I can just lay low and hope nobody notices that I'm not helping. Maybe we'll just let things be. What's a small, manageable war goal? Go for the transfer of Gili. So Futatoro is a French protectorate. Dang it, it was me who was pulled into the nonsense. I think I will probably not add a war goal here because I don't know that I fancy Britain's chances here. Let's look at their armies. Yeah, they do have squad infantry. Britain has the same. Yeah, I think this is a... Frankly, this is a defend the borders war for me. I do not... Ooh, calm our union sides. But does that give me any ability? Like, do I have any ability to feel confident that there's going to be a freaking front where we can move towards like actually having success in the war place here? Like, is there anything that's a real front or that offers the ability to actually invade Spain? Like, I don't think so. Spain or France? I genuinely don't think so. So yeah, I think for me, for my part, this is purely a war of staying chill and not doing anything that's going to wreck my economy for too long a term. On the other hand, transferring the Philippines would be nice. I could make this a major... No, I can't, because there's no... Oh, no, there is. There's bridges over here. Okay, alright. I need to think about this. No. Much as I would like to steal the Philippines from Spain, I'm just going to have to be a paper tiger on this. Like, I don't have the ability to get fully involved in this thing in any way that matters. Because if I have no war goals, against Ming, then I can't be forced to stay in the war long term. Ooh, radio production. Excellent. The production of radios in our factories has led to a boom in employment and profit. Telephones? No, no, no. Who wants a telephone? One person talks to another person useless. What you want is a radio. One person talks to hundreds, nay thousands. And the best part? They can't talk back. More radios, extra radio output by 50%, or we should spread this knowledge to Sind. 6K progress on radio. Improves relations. More radios. I need the radios. I want to put in this war goal. But again, like, is there any ability to actually get Spain to give this up? No, I can't. I've got to be reasonable. I've got to be a reasonable cat. I've got to set achievable goals. I'm paying almost 60k in interest, and my economy is only 120 million pounds. Turkey backs down against Japan. Again, the core problem is there's no front. There's not a good spot to actually get involved in things. And without a spot to get involved in things, I don't fancy anyone's chances. I'm going to send... Maybe I will send the fleet out to do stuff. Maybe I'll do convoy raiding. Again, I don't want to mobilize another army. I will take the first fleet out from the shores. And you know, I'll send an army to participate on the Luzon front. Now, there's a possibility that this will end up costing me in the long term because I'll need to mobilize another army to go over an invasion, but we'll see. Nasruddin Pasyan has criticized numerous decisions made by the leadership of his own learned council, calling Ahmed Pirnia to excessively cautious and unwilling to address critical issues. Let's take a quick look at where we are. Oh, interesting. Society for Progress is way up there in projected votes. Trade unions went in with the industrials, so that's a total goober. And then Revival Party is down at the bottom with just the petite bourgeoisie. I often wonder, looking at the activities that we carry out, specifically those which are most crucial to expanding our pool of supporters, whether Pirnia is authentically aware of or dedicated to their success. Our fundraising is generally acceptable. The coffers of the party without complaint, and neither are our accountants, but such resources have yet to be mobilized in any way that benefits the common good. And so my thesis is this: what does Pirnia intend, and how best to change his mind on the matter? It would be best to simply do as he wishes. Purnia loses some popularity, extra momentum for the Learning Council, or make a point of improving the vigor we put forward. We don't lose as much popularity. We don't get as much momentum. I'm going to go for the momentum. So I'm going to go for the first one. As the week changes over, that means... I am getting naval invaded. Alright, well... Time to close the Straits of Hormuz. Oh, I've also got... I'm getting multiple naval invasions. Alright, I'll mobilize another army. Actually got 3 naval invasions here. I've got to bring the army that I've mobilized actually back to the primary HQ because I need to deal with these naval invasions. Oh, this stinks. This stinks. This is the opposite of what I wanted to happen. It's okay. I'm not being invaded yet. We got a 50 battalion strong French army here. Commander commends Civic Coalition. General Esfahani, that's Abdul Samad Esfahani, has made public statements in support of the Learned Council, bringing into question the political neutrality of the military. It is my duty to defend the nation and its interests. Politics is as much a part of war as battles and logistics are. I don't see the problem with doing my duty and doing what I can to make sure those who are best fit to protect the nation end up being the ones in charge. Abdul Samad Esfahani can say what he wants. 20% extra momentum to the Learned Council. Reprimand him. Good soldiers don't give orders, they take them. 5% of officer pops in Iran become more radical. Or, if Abdul Samad Esfahani likes politics so much he ought to get more involved, he becomes the leader of the Shia Ulema. It's an interesting idea. He's ruthless, inspirational orator. Ruthless is extra authority as ruler. That's not bad. Inspirational orator, extra popularity. Experienced entrepreneur as ruler, extra influence and company throughput bonus. Innovative, extra tax spread. And expensive tastes, some tax waste. Unfortunate. I'm just going to say he can say what he wants. That's going to give the Learning Council a little bit of extra momentum, and that's fine. Windward Coast Front? That doesn't seem like Iran's business. Once again, there's no war goals against me. So I'm not too worried about any of this. I'm hoping I can do this with 2 armies. If not, I'm going to need to scramble to mobilize a 3rd army. But I shouldn't have too much trouble here. The fleet here looks completely insufficient to actually defeating my fleet and invading me. Ooh, a Kikuyu National Awakening. Nice. I think interception is the right call in terms of what our fleet's going to do. Alright, so there's 64 battalions. I've got about 80 battalions at home ready to defend. Okay, there's another 59 battalions. Okay, here's a large fleet, but crucially, it's a lot of old boats. 26 ironclads, though. This could be a problem. Alright, one of the naval invasions has been cancelled. Okay, that fleet was on its way, and now it's gone. Alright, well, we're still holding tight. Okay, now a large army has arrived. Chhattisgarhi National Awakening. Interesting. Okay, now a large fleet has arrived as well. So we'll see how this goes. Can I see their average attack and defense? I guess we'll just need to wait until the naval invasion begins, and then we'll see. I'm meaning to mobilize another army. In fact, I think my potential need to mobilize another army might be quite large. But again, we're going to hold off on that as long as we can, because the longer we chip away at this interest number, the better. If I need to get a real army together to win this war, I will. I genuinely think that the Brits can basically handle themselves. And I'm winning on the high seas, so yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. The lads are ramming. For whom the bell tolls. V.H. Sattar Khan, leader of the petite bourgeoisie, has unexpectedly expired mid-campaign, robbing the revival party of a cornerstone politician. The question of his replacement is now on everyone's lips. Unexpected? Bah! That old bag of bones was long overdue to meet his maker. It's about time that party saw some new blood. Go with the popular but inept candidate. Extra momentum for them. Sattar Khan dies, new character appears, or the determined but haughty youngster secures the chair. I'm just going to go with the second one. That doesn't give them any momentum, but it makes, it brings about a new character, and that's going to be somewhat interesting. So, our new leader is a young Republican, ambitious, charismatic, imperious. Interesting. Fascinating. Alright, let's keep an eye on our naval situation here. 2 naval invasions popping off, and we are once again winning the fight against the French and Spanish navies. So I'm feeling pretty good about my overall strategy. I'm experiencing a shortage of rubber, unfortunately, but I cannot do anything about that. So that's just going to have to simply be what it is. I think we can... Okay, we're actually almost finished improving relations, or not finished, but we've almost made significant headway improving relations with the Hejaz. Sichuan is also getting down there in Liberty Desire. That's very good for me. Hejaz is fully... Oh, no, they're not. They're not all the way down there in Liberty Desire yet. I won a naval battle and forced the French away. So that's... I'm feeling pretty good about that. Now, the question is... Okay, no, Hormuz is definitely on the Straits of Hormuz. That's no question. Sind is in default. That's fine. And we are winning another naval battle, and there is the election. Learning Council squeaked it out with a narrow majority this time. Let's take a quick look at how the government looks. Okay, we have a legitimate government. I can pull the industrialists in. Okay, so the trade unions have become fully marginalized. Yeah, I'm going to pull in the industrialists. To get myself a righteous as heck government. Huh. I could go to corporatized unions. Who would be for my corporatist movement? Who would be against my communist, anarchist, and radical movements? You know what? I'll leave that be for now. I don't need to upset the balance of power. Alright, so the trade unions have become fully marginalized. That's good for us, because they were supporting communism. Oh my goodness. The North German Federation are... in a separate war with the French? Seems like they are. Oh, they're trying to unify the country again. Well, what an interesting situation. This bodes well for us. Alright, this is cheeky. I can demobilize my second army. Well, my third army. This is very silly. I feel extremely confident in the power of... and the ability of Britain to win this war. As for me, my war support is decaying at a very reasonable rate. Transfer the Marina Kingdom. Oh my goodness. My nerds, I forgot I was the Marina Kingdom's overlord. I completely beefed it. I completely forgot. This is so funny. This is so funny. I've been like, there's no war goals against me. I don't need to worry about anything. And there was a war goal against me the whole time. Oh, I'm so good at video games, y'all. Alright, so I do have permanent membership in this war. I'm subscribed to this war. I'm part of... I've joined this war's OnlyFans. Actually, it looks like there's several fronts in Africa. I'm remaining a fan of the not getting involved, of my not getting involved process. This is a weird way of winning wars, but I feel like Alright, hopefully I will have reacted to this fast enough that it does not become a total shit show. And it seems like I have, so that should be sorting it out. Oh boy, there's so much involved here. There's so much involved, but I can't simply bail out because I would lose the American Kingdom if I did that. The United States would like a treaty, investment rights for investment rights. You know what? I would be probably delighted with that. Do I already have trade privileges? I do. You know, America, I would be delighted. I would be delighted to pursue closer ties with the United States. I think that can only be good for us long term. Again, hoping life imitates art. Relations with Sichuan are improving. That's excellent. Their liberty desire is going down very handily. Now, what about the Hejaz? Alright, we're up to neutral with them. Their liberty desire is going down. Now, I believe now that they're neutral, it's not going to be as bad if I steal Yemen. Which I do really desire to do, because the people in Hijazi Yemen are quite poorly. Things are quite bad there, and it would be better if they were part of Iran. Alright, so now... Well, I can't take a state because I'm in a war. That's okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I do need to get over here because I think regime change in the Philippines actually has to be promulgated in order for Spain to be able to be forced out of the war. So that's unfortunate, but you know, some would call this the coward's path, but I resent that. It's not a path. I'm feeling very silly. This number, though, this number is making me very happy. That's what I'm contenting myself with, the simple fact that I'm chipping away at my national debt whilst in the middle of a world war, and you know, that feels good. That feels very good. And it doesn't really matter that I'm not supporting my allies because it's the British and I don't care. They can afford to have... Oh my goodness, what is this? A Uralsk uprising in Turkestan. I need to get involved. Let me see. South Madagascar, I got 25% occupation. Let me pay a little bit better attention to how well this is going. I think it's going well. I suspect it's going well. Yeah, okay. Alright. We've vastly outclassed the enemy in terms of military capacity, so I should be able to win this before too long. I think I am going to mobilize an army to assist with the Philippine front. I think it is simply necessary. The second army will be assisting Turkestan. Well, Turkestan's kind of looking like they're good to go. So maybe my assistance will not be needed over there. But if it is, it won't be the end of the world. Alright. Come on. Come on. Alright, now I do have the ability to impose my state religion on Sichuan. And this only costs me coalition, so let's do it. Hope that wasn't a mistake. I don't think it was a mistake. Alright, and Fars... That's fine. They tried to invade Fars before, and it didn't go well for them. So I'm feeling pretty confident in my overall ability to win this. They are coming in with a significant fleet. But I think that's the same fleet it was that they were coming in with before. And I don't think they were able to get done with the thing they wanted to get done, so I'm feeling pretty good. Does Britain have war support protection on this Garbo? Yes, they surely do. Yeah, oh yeah, they do for sure. Now this is really I'm in big risky town at this stage, because I am being naval invaded, and while I have a fleet here, I do not have an army mobilized in the area. So I'm being very cheeky with this, but hopefully I'll be able to do what I need to do. Last time I was able to beat this fleet. I think it's the same fleet. I think it's the same number of ships, so I'm hoping it's the same. Alright, so that's the Marina Kingdom sorted. Alright, we are winning the naval battle. So, let's bring the second army over. We'll cautiously station them on. Oh my goodness, I've got another revolt happening. I guess I'll mobilize another army. Actually, I'm going to mobilize this army and put them... I'm going to bring this army home and put them and station them in Iran for now. Alright, and I got... Yeah, I'm progressing here. Ooh, electric drilling. That's wonderful. Excellent. Alright, so... am I going to totally goober myself on power? I'm only 10 months to the steam turbine. I'll wait until I've got the steam turbine, and then I'll goober myself on power. You know, with all this, my Turkmen National Awakening never really popped off. Alright, still winning our naval battle. A small fleet, but an effective one, a powerful one. Right. And I'm feeling really pretty confident, so I'm going to put this second army actually over on the front with the Zungaria uprising. And we'll just get that going. Sichuan is hurtling towards being able to be reduced in autonomy, which I'm very pleased about. Kalmar Union is bailed out of the war. Okay, that is actually not as good for us, but again, I don't... The North German Federation is going after France at this stage, so... Oh my gosh, they might be... Hold on, are you trying to make a super Germany here? They are! They're going for a super Germany. Those goobers. How dare you? Stop doing a super Germany. That's too much Germany. Put some Germany back. You know, this army is not progressing forward as quickly as I would hope. Oh, it's because we're not winning battles. Couldn't be my fault. Alright, well, we're winning against the Uralsk uprising right now. I've got 3 armies mobilized, though, and cash flow is still doing okay. I'm still chipping away at my national debt. Which, again, I know, is very silly, but... But sovereign debt, my nerds, I hate it. It's not good. It's not good to have sovereign debt. Oh, I'm doing really bad in loyalists. I really wish I were, I really wish I were on lower taxes, but I'm not. Alright, there's the Zungaria uprising. Very close with Sichuan. Oh, none of my subjects are counting for mandate progress now, which is sad, because I feel like I've developed a pretty strong, pretty rock-solid network of subjects. Alright, Tuva I can reduce in liberty, desire, in autonomy, but I'm not going to do that right now, because Sichuan's I want to keep my eyes on the prize here. Alright, there's the Uralsk uprising sorted. Let's move this army over to the World front. And we'll probably do the same with the army that's over here in the Zungaria army. On the Zungaria front, industrialists petition government. Ibrahim El Amir, the ever-efficacious leader of the industrialists, has approached the government with a plan to enact wealth voting. A successful enactment is certain to contribute to his reputation as an effective politician. A word, please. The minister, halfway out the door, startled at the sound. A man stood in the hallway, bearing a leather-bound dossier. El Amir, he knew. His appearance was unmistakable. Yes, of course, he said. Should I... El Amir gave a nod and handed over the folder. At least 100 pages, judging by the weight. I'm willing to raise the first draft tomorrow, he said. I would be honored to have your support. We will see what we can do. They're going to want wealth voting. Offer them poor laws as a compromise, or they must understand the present situation does not allow for this. Industrialists mad and reduce legitimacy. As much as I want to not have... Oh, they are powerful. As much as I would love... So, here's the thing, my nerds. It's 1933. The game is going to end before either of these become a problem. So the temptation is simply to say, sure, whatever, I'll do this, and then to not do it. But I'm role-playing, so I'm not going to do that. So I am, unfortunately, going to take the legitimacy and industrialist opinion hit, because I'm not going to do that. The country is where it needs to be. It's in a good place. We're happy with where we are, and it's going to have to stay where it is. Alright, how's the Zungaria front? Alright, we're making very good progress here, actually. British Senegal is in default. That's fine. Again, if we can get control of the Philippines, I think we can actually do this. Like, I think this is actually the only front that matters in terms of Spain's willingness to leave the war. Now, who's got a war goal against me right now? It's Spain. It's Spain's war goal against me. So, I think... they keep sending more lads. So I think as soon as that war goal is sorted out, I think as soon as Spain's out the war, I can successfully bail out. Okay, wow, actually, we got a bureaucracy shortage now, my nerds. This keeps happening. Could it be my nation is simply insufficiently bureaucratic? Tabriz is going to need another one. Alright, obviously this is going to cost me a huge pile of cash, but it is what it is. France has war support protection. What about... That's the Bayang government. I'm not worried about them. India. Oh, they can't leave because Britain is still in the war. Well, them's the breaks. All right. So, okay, this force comparison I'm pleased about. And actually, it looks like as my units arrive, we are actually tipping the balance, turning the tide in the Philippines, and I'm pretty pleased with that. Again, I'm theoretically leaving myself open to naval invasion, but my fleet has been handling naval invasions pretty okay so far, so I'm not super worried about this, actually. Getting forward in the Philippines is going to be very useful, because if we can change the regime in the Philippines, then Spain will no longer have war support protection. Now, Spain's war support is going down only pretty slowly, because they have... Our side has actually mostly lost battles. It's almost like one of our major war participants is simply not doing anything and not pulling their weight at all, What kind of a goober would do this? But it simply is what it is. Ooh. Sokoto's on our side. Oh, because they're aligned with the British. Well, that'll do. That will do. A coup in the Heavenly Kingdom. Interesting. I'm still improving relations. Who's running the place now? The landowners. Well, that'll do it. Excellent. Alright. Time to decrease Sichuan's autonomy. I'll reduce their subject payments, same as I always do. That's a significant cash flow increase, though. Oh, man. Let me just give that a week to become fully manifest. Yeah, look at that. So how much are they actually paying us? We're up to 50k in yeah, 26k minus 9k. So yeah, so that's a significant amount. So I'm feeling very pleased by that. All right, so my adventures in China ultimately proved quite fruitful financially for us. We're making good progress in the Philippines against the Spanish and French armies there. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good about this war. Obviously, invading France kind of remains a no sell. But again, we'll see about the Philippines. I don't know if regime change is one of those things that can only be done with the, you know, with the way that I don't know if they have protection from regime change because the overlord hasn't capitulated. And if the answer is yes, then this is basically a forever war. But, you know, maybe I will start putting some real effort in, you know, once my national debt is clear. Really pleased with the petite bourgeoisie reducing my loan interest rates. Portugal sides with the USA over what? Oh, they're going after Japan. Japan wants to transfer Gaza. The USA wants to change the regime there. Interesting. Very interesting. Global politics are so curious. They're so curious. So very curious. Now, Britain's war support protection consists of the transfer of Sulu, the transfer of Perak, the transfer of Sierra Leone, the transfer of the Ionian Islands, and the liberation of Natalia. I have no idea where Natalia is. Ooh, there's corporate governance. That's wonderful. Ah, it's one of the Boer states. That means I can found another company. And you know what? I wish to found a company to reduce my my amount of to give me extra loyalists from political movements, or to reduce radicals from political movements. So I think that's what I'll do. Okay, there's the steam turbine. So that's really good. So, yeah, Tabriz Textile Company, let's do it. Hindustani National Awakening in Agra. Exciting. So, from here, it's time for shock therapy. We're going to turn our power plants into coal-fired power plants. I'm going to go to NCO Incorporation in my barracks, which is something I should have done before but wasn't thinking about. And then we're going to go to... Oh, I've got a new method for my explosives factories. I'm going to leave that be for a second because we need electric engines. And we might need electric railways. I'm not sure. So let's see how much I've goobered my economy. It's not that bad. It could be worse. Pashtunistan, Tabriz, and Iraqi Ajami. Alright, so it's everywhere where I've got a motor industry. How bad is it? It's pretty tough. So unfortunately I'll need to build these up. Tabriz local price is very, very high. And Pashtunistan is over here. Alright, so I'm going to need to spend a lot of cash right now immediately. But it's only for a few weeks. It's only for 14 weeks. It's fine. I can live with this. See, I've been diligently... No! No! Oh, it's going to hurt. It's going to be another 1.5 million in national debt. That's okay, though. Alright, so we're in the Philippines. So have we taken away... We have. Alright, so now we have the ability to win this. Oh, I should have gone for the frickin' Philippines. But no. I'm okay with my decision. Is this a Escadra du Nord again? It is. I'm just gonna win them again. Hey, I got the Urbanize Iran event. Winds have changed. Kandahar has come a long way since our attention was first brought to it, going from small houses and scattered farmlands to being on its way to a blooming metropolis. The woman sighs. Her old hands stop crocheting for a second. When I was younger, all of this was farmlands. Us kids would just play freely in the fields, not having to worry about getting hit by a cart or those criminals coming to get us, and we still had time to work. Well, Grandma, now people have even more places to work at. Finally, Kandahar shines like never before, extra loyalists from political movements, or this is not the end, extra urban center throughput. I'm going to go with the first one. I think that just makes sense. Anchor at the front. Climbing losses at the front have led to murmurs of mutiny spreading amongst the soldiery. If action isn't taken soon, the situation may become critical. Sir, have you heard the new threatening chant in the barracks? Lights out, knives out. Let 'em have it. It's getting ugly, sir. I fear the front itself will no longer believe in success. Arrest the grumblers and fight on. Guarding war exhaustion. 1 of 3, 33% chance of each. 1 of 3 will occur. Option 1, we get 10 war exhaustion. Option 2, Turkmen national movement reduces secession progress by 10%. Or, collapsing army morale, increased war exhaustion from casualties, and increased morale loss. We cannot afford to detain any soldiers. We lose 10 war support, but 50% chance of getting collapsing army morale, 50% chance of increasing Turkmen national movement. Or we must stop and let the men rest. 2% of officers become more radical, reduced offense, reduced morale. What's my war support at? Where are we? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? I'm at 0. But losing 10 isn't necessarily a problem for me. I don't want to get... I'm going to go with the first one. It's the lowest chance of getting a penalty. And did I get a penalty? I did not. Alright, beautiful. Nice, alright. I'm feeling very pleased. Mashriki National Movement organizes in Merv. Organizers affiliated with the Mashriki National Movement have embarked on a focused campaign to inspire support for cultural exclusion in Merv. Residents of every region of the world like to say that their home has a long and unique history of tight-knit community. The organizer almost agreed. The problem, of course, was that said community often did not extend to outsiders. He'd been thrown out on his ear more times than he could count, but he persisted nonetheless. If he could introduce the right phrase into the right circles, perhaps even an idea that had been rejected out of hand at first would begin to find purchase. There are plenty of willing ears in Merv. Increased Mashriki National Movement pop attraction. Increased universal pop political strength and radicals from political movements in Merv. Or they must be concerned with far more grounded things. Half the modifiers from Merv. No increase to the size of the Mashriki National Movement. I'm going to go with the second one. I don't want a larger Mashriki National Movement. I think it shouldn't be too hard to figure out why. Alright, so... we're still making very good progress in the Philippines, which I'm feeling pleased about. I'm basically winning this war. I'm fighting on the front that matters the most. I'm not gonna sit here and say something so arrogant as I'm single-handedly winning this war, but I am handling the front which matters the most, and which will eventually get Spain to be forced to bail out. Furatoro and Borgio are the two places in Africa that matter, so maybe the answer is After this, we devote ourselves to the African front until that's finished and good to go. Got a second naval invasion happening, but again, none of these naval invasions have been able to get past my navy, and I've beaten the French navy several times. And now I've got a gigantic British navy here helping, so that's fine. United States wants an alliance. They don't want a defensive pact. I don't desire an alliance. I don't wish to get pulled into another offensive war. I wish to simply do... Ooh! Iran Zamin. I need to read what that actually does at some point. Maybe I can bring it up on Steam. I'll bring it up on my phone. That's what I'll do. Oh, this is the riveting gameplay that you desire. I know. I know. Alright, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. I would look at it in that interface there, but it doesn't actually take you to it. Alright, here we go. I think I've got it. Do I have an event popping off? While I'm looking down at my phone... Achievements. Iran Zamin. As Persia, complete the Eastern Frontier Journal entry and have a literacy rating of 80%. Nice. Okay, that's very cool. Alright. Anyway. We are building up our power plants now. And I basically sorted my power issue, which feels very good. I feel very, very good about that. And that should mean that engines are now at a very reasonable thing here. I don't need to subvene the import of engines. I can put them into Tariff Town. I am going to start charging tariffs for automobiles. This should help encourage the local automotive industry. Karim Shafai retires. Is that going to goober one of my armies? It is not. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm still successfully defending from a naval invasion over here. We've got an event. 2 events. Defamatory article. A newspaper called the Persian Kurdistan Observer has printed a bigoted article about the equatorial Bantu people living here. We can suppress the article or we can allow it to be released. He threw the tabloid across the table with a huff. Absolutely vile lies, the lot of it. Alas, that won't matter to those who read it. They'll gobble it right up. He eyed the shocked maid's face, then read it himself. Of course they'd believe it. He hadn't given them proof to the contrary. Suppress it, reduce authority, or ignore it. Reduce standard of living for equatorial Bantu and Persian Kurdistan. How many equatorial Bantu people are living here? 12k? I'm sorry. I can't be arsed. Do a promotion. The Shia Islam demand the promotion of Lieutenant General Abdul Samad Esfahani, touting his history of loyal and effective service. They've done this already. I've read this flavor text already, I think, this episode. But he gets a promotion. He's earned it. He's earned it, I say. Alright, so we've now basically... Wait a minute, Mindanao? Has Mindanao existed the whole game? Maybe they just popped off for something. Alright, well, Spanish naval invasion, but we're winning on the high seas, so, with British help. Oh no, that's mosquito help, and it's not actually helping. Alright, beautiful. I'm so good at things. Alright, we're very nearly closed out on our frontier. We've just got to get a little bit more occupation of Philippine Mindanao, and then we'll be good to go. I need more water. Oil discovered in Fars. Very nice. I like oil. Alright, so my armies are going to the African front next. I think the third army is actually coming back to it, because I don't... My current technique of simply not being naval invaded has worked so far, but I think its chances of continuing to... of always working are only middling. So these two armies, we are going to set their objectives. You're going to be... have your objective in Oyo. Actually, I'm going to set their objectives to both be in Oyo for the moment, because... Oyo is, I believe, what we need to break off. Borgu. We need to hit Borgu. Borgu is over here. Okay. Alright. Never mind. What is the capital of Borgu? It's not Eastern... It's not, Hausaland, is it? It is Hausaland. Alright. Cool. Never mind. I did it silly. So, 4th Army... Objective needs to be Hausaland. Should have been looking for the little icon, I suppose. 2nd Army, objective needs to be Hausaland. And that'll get us part of the way there. And after that, it's simply Futatoro, which I believe is here. But I'll check the little icon when the time comes. Cash flow is doing a lot better. We've cut our interest payments in half, which I'm feeling extremely pleased about. We're successfully defending naval invasions in Australia. Things are going at least a little better on the front in India, so that's also a good sign. You know, I've still got an army in Iran. Let's send the 3rd Army to Africa as well, and we'll have them pick the same objective. Is this silly? Maybe. Is it going to win us the war? Yes. Well, hopefully. It's hopefully going to win us the war. Turkmen national movement is moving upwards in radicalism. I'm not loving this number of loyalists going down, but hopefully, as we get our Tabriz textile company going up in profitability, that will change. Now, I think maybe... How is our... We're still slowly producing automotive industries. How is our, my goodness, there's such high demand for electrics. It's bananas. If we, no, clothing industry, we're actually over efficient. I could see an export for clothes, but I don't think I need to. I don't think that's useful. Modest investments in the economy would be good, although, again, I am chipping away at my national debt very, very well here for being at war, which I am, and which I'm participating in very well. Ooh, actually, we're taking Borgu. We're doing it. We're doing it, my nerds. And in fact, with Spain losing war support, we still have the capacity to win this, to win it properly. Our ratio of battles won is improving. Although, as always, the AI is simply being quite silly. The Hazara National Movement has hit maxed out activism, but is bottomed out on support. I'm really pleased that that's going that way, because I really don't wish to be fighting a revolt in Hazaristan. Yeah, I'm feeling very good about the position of our national finances at this time. French Republic are damaging relations. Well, I don't know why they'd be doing that. It's not like there's a war going on or something. It's interesting. My Turkmen national movement has kind of drowned out all my other secession movements, which is kind of funny, but also kind of delightful. Sichuan's liberty desire is low enough. Let's get them evangelizing. Didn't increase the liberty desire much at all. Wonderful. Tuva is now below, is now low in liberty desire enough to reduce their autonomy as well. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. I managed my, I managed this war pretty well, I would say. In fact, no, I'm not going to drop back taxes just yet. We're not getting stupid just yet. The taxation, the taxes stay on. Ooh, international exchange standards, wonderful. That's reducing my loan interest rate even more. Excellent, excellent, excellent. How is Borgu? I got 14% occupation, with hopefully a little bit more on the way. 26% occupation. Excellent. Overall force comparison in Africa is pretty bad. How much am I spending on mobilization costs right now? It's a little bit hard to say. I've got 3 armies mobilized. The second... Oh, that's morale. Whew. The second, the third, and the fourth. So I'm spending a... Why is the second so much more expensive than the third and the fourth? Oh no, it's the fifth that's cheaper. Naval invasion once again. That's about 90k. It would be about 130k if I mobilized the first army. I can kind of afford that. On the other hand, the damage I am dealing to my national debt is so very high that I kind of want to keep things where they are. If I kind of go all in on this war, that could prove to be a little bit of a headache. Just got the battleship. That's nice. Force comparison here is getting worse, though. And I do kind of want to... Well, again, though... Ooh, nitrogen fixation. See, here's the thing. Once Spain is forced out of this war, I will simply cease to be in war. Great Britain's war support is holding due to the enemy, the other side, not being able to get any of their objectives. Like, it would be nice to win this war, to properly win this war. Oh, I am pushing forward here. Oh, hold on. I think that battle turned out to be a loss for me. Sad. Well, that's okay. On the other hand, it might be nice to focus a little bit more on building up my economy, which I sincerely would like to do. Ooh, electricity shortage in Hormuz. How much of an electricity shortage? It's nothing. I just need to subsidize the place. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Diplomatic ties with Nicaragua. Nice. Great Britain does genuinely feel as though she's losing, though. France is moving forward in a bunch of different war fronts here. Which I guess I'm a little surprised by, because I didn't... Well, I guess she's up. You know what? I think it's time. I recognize that this is a little silly since the run has almost ended, but it's time to start getting serious in this war. I'm going to send the first army to Africa with an objective of Borgu, just like the others, of Hausaland. I'm going to move the fourth army to India, where I hope they will be instrumental in changing the position of things there. International telephone exchange. It has been suggested that by establishing a cross-border telephone exchange with Sind, we could improve relations more easily. It certainly cuts down on misunderstandings, so we can just pick up the telephone and work out what's going on across the border. Sounds like a great idea. Improves relations, or I don't think so. It doesn't. I'm gonna go with the first one. I'm gonna improve relations. Now this is quite risky because I only have one army at home and they're demobilized, but my finances are still improving. We're going to stay at high taxation for the time being, so that's still good, and getting a much larger army into Africa is surely going to help. Spread thin. The limited resources of the trade unions have made the group's leadership question its membership in both the Anti-Ottoman League and the Iranian American League. And for office supplies, on average, the auditor turned a page to the relevant entry and ran its eyes down the column. 300 crowns per month. For the man who sat across from him, the world was beginning to spin. You're certain? And 1,200 for work-related travel expenses. Excuse me, he managed. Can I have a copy of the manifest? I need to meet with my colleagues at once. There's no reason to remain in the Anti-Ottoman League. They leave the Anti-Ottoman League. Membership in the Iranian American League is no longer useful. They leave the Iranian American League. Or abandoning either would be unwise. They get weaker. I'm going to pick the third one because I like having weaker trade unions. That's what we want to do. All right. So, I am feeling pretty rock solid. We had a good run. The run continues to be going well. I have to say, I didn't make a giant sprawling metropolis in every state. It is punishingly hard to start behind on tech and an Iranian supremacist movement. But I feel like I've done pretty well. Importantly, I've spread a lot of Shia Islam across a lot of Central Asia. So let's take a look at what that means in terms of these populations. We've got Shia is the predominant religion in virtually all of my incorporated territory. In Uyghurstan, there are significant Shia populations now. Come on. In Turkestan, it's starting to develop significant Shiite populations. A lot of our areas that we've recently taken have experienced the same. Kashmir, 67% Shiite. Punjab, 5% Shiite. That's curious. I thought that would have been higher. Sindh is mostly Sunni. I wonder if because the Sunni peoples are accepted, they don't convert. Maybe as much. Oh boy. Oh boy. There's a revolt in Sichuan. That's not great. I'm gonna send my third army to come and deal with it. Nope, actually, it looks like Sichuan is handling it themselves. So, never mind. You stay on the active. We kept the country intact. We didn't fall to a socialist revolution. We had some revolutions early on, which left us pretty badly in debt. But we didn't collapse. We didn't get into a bad debt cycle, and we kept our hand on the rudder. We kept the ship of state sailing forward. In terms of sailing forward, we've grown to a GDP of 158 million. We got up to 80% literacy, which I'm pretty pleased with. Standard of living, I wish were higher, but it is what it is. We've got a lot of radicalism in the country. Our radical comparison it's very high. It's very, very high. But we're doing overall really well. We developed a large global empire. Like, if I continue this run another 10 years, there are a lot of things that I could get done, I feel like. Now, I don't, at this stage in my career as a Let's Player, I don't continue the run after it has finished, because that's simply not an efficient use of resources. When there's a shiny new run, it's fun and it's a nice time. And we're sailing into the end here, with a pretty doing its best, with a pretty solid place. Now, around at the end of the game, Still a significant peasant population. Political strength mostly in the hands of capitalists, engineers, and shopkeepers. I'm a little surprised by that, because clergymen wound up only holding about 6.45% of the political strength, which is curious. Although I will say that that because of the way I manipulated the voting system, that translated into a very, very large amount of political power. In terms of political strength, the population of our country was 27% Persian. Nearest minority was 15% Pashtun, then 10% Uzbek, 7% Tajik, or wait, hold on, 6% Tajik, 5% Baluchi, 4% Azerbaijani, 4% Mazandarani, and various other groups as well. We built a large and very multi-ethnic country. The majority of the political power was held by Persian, Pashto, and Azerbaijani people. If you include Tajik and Mazandarani pops, that's over 75% of the political power. The country was predominantly Shia at the end of the game, which is not shocking. That was kind of our focus. We created a very large... I've never played a Religious Convocation before. I think it's interesting. I think, unfortunately, because I started as a smaller... well, not particularly small a country, but because I started as a very technologically behind country, it was pretty difficult to build up a strong network of subjects, which is what you need in order to get your mandates going. I'm just going to kind of continue here. I'm glad they finally fixed that bug that prevents the soundtrack from turning off when you stop playing, so I'm just going to continue here. I do want to get this war done. So I'm glad they fixed the bug that gets the soundtrack not to play. No! No! Alright, well, we are gonna turn off here pretty soon. I do just kind of want to get to Spain bailing out because I think that's funny. Again, I don't really think things are going to... that this war is going to sort itself out. But again, I think the soundtrack is a very nice part of the game. But yeah, the one thing I regret is that we weren't able to conquer the Arab world. And that was just because, like, as an accident of history, the Ottoman Empire became super duper freaking strong. That's something that is very, very rare in this game. A strong Ottoman Empire is almost never in the cards in Victoria 3. Almost overwhelmingly, they fail their Tanzimat journal entry and become unrecognized. It is simply something that happens. There's Spain bailing out the war. And this should make... yeah, that's going to make our efforts in Africa a lot easier. And that's just something you can't account for. But that was one of the major factors that didn't allow... that sort of restricted my growth, because this is natural growth territory for Iran. Iran's historical empire includes a lot of this territory. Sichuan socialist revolt popping off. You know, all of this. Cool. That's the end of the war. All right, well, this war is going to sort itself out. These armies are going to take forever to get home, but that's okay. You know, a lot of this territory is historically Iran's. Persia makes it all the way to Greece before colonization efforts are really thwarted, largely by geography. The Persian Empire is one of the most successful empires in history. So it's interesting that unfortunately I wasn't able to do that, and that's if I did the run again, I don't know that I would necessarily be able to do anything to make that happen. Just because of how things went. again, sort of how the Ottoman Empire goes basically is more or less completely down to whether or not they're able to get their alliance with Great Britain, which they often are, but not, I shouldn't say often. They're not often are. If you're a player, you can pretty much make sure that it happens. If you're not a player, you really can't. If the AI pretty much can't. It's very bad at this. I don't know why y'all are going through. And that's that war finished. And that means I think this stage cash flow is good enough that I think we can pop back to Midland taxation. This number I'm very pleased with. Economy really dropped just now, but Communist Party and Free Trade Party, that's wild. All right, I need to actually pause the game because things are starting to go buck wild with our like. I'm gonna let it go for a little longer so that I can see what the 1936 election would look like, and that's kind of what I'll leave y'all with as we close out the episode here. North German Federation improving relations, nice. Okay, we have the Learning Council pretty far down. We have the Communist Party slated to... Oh, wait, hold on. This is not clear. Yeah, we have the Communist Party slated to take 45% of the vote, which is a rare situation. Completely out of the blue. I thought I'd sufficiently weakened the trade unions. I have not. They've got an anarchist in charge. So, maybe we're headed not towards peace, but towards more interesting times in Iran. But I'm still very proud of this. I could have done better. I am very shy about sovereign debt in Victoria 3, and I think there were situations where I could have leveraged it more. I think you need to be a little bit more aggressive I think particularly once I got my recognition, there were times when I should have gotten more aggressive about taking on debt in order to ensure economic growth for the long term. I think I could have managed some of that stuff better. With that having been said, I'm still very pleased with what we've accomplished. I'm pleased that we've spread inroads for Islam in China and in Central Asia, for Shiite Islam in particular, that has never been done at scale before. And I'm pleased that I was able to establish a world in which Iran is a major player and able to exert global influence, as she once did many centuries ago, when the world was smaller and politics was conducted with swords and arrows rather than with missives and telegrams and airplanes. My nerds, I've had a great time with this run. I've had so much fun. I hope you have. I hope you have as well. And I will see you on the other side.